When it comes to measuring equipment, we have already discussed in my class varying types of equipment for measuring and how to use them appropriately. So I'm only going to utilize this video as just a really quick review on the equipment specific. So when it comes to measuring, typically you're looking at weight or you're looking at volume, and weight is generally almost always going to be more accurate if you have that opportunity. When it comes to scales, you have different types of scales. There are portion scales which have like a spring mechanism. There are balance scales which use a calibrated weight on one end and measure your ingredients on the other. There are also digital scales, and so digital scales are going to be very precise. They're going to measure weight electronically. Most of the new digital scales they have out now are water resistant to make them easier to clean, to prevent cross contamination, and they're also rechargeable with a USB cord instead of using the batteries. Just really important when you use a scale to utilize that tary function. So you want to put a bowl and then tary it out to 0, and then you weigh your ingredients in there. For volume measures, is going to measure how much you can fit inside of that device. And for certain ingredients, a lot of times we do recommend weight instead of volume just for accuracy, like flour. So you can have measuring cups, which are for dry goods and liquids only. You have spoons for liquid or dry. It's important to measure over the sink or trash can, not over the floor, and not over the bowl that you're measuring into. There's also volume measures, and volume measures are liquid, but they are larger than your liquid measuring cups. Then there's also cups and milliliters and pints. A volume measure cup usually goes a gallon or above. Just make sure you don't use a liquid measuring cup for dry ingredients because you are unable to pack in or to level off, and that's important in the dry measuring cups for accuracy. There's also a ladle. Ladles are usually marked on the side of them. Commercial ladles are by their ounces, and then you have portion scoops. These are not ice cream scoop. These are designed with a specific size in mind that portion out ingredients and soft food items. Thermometers are also part of the measuring equipment as they measure temperature. So a STEM typed thermometer, there are instant read models, and then there are some that take a couple of minutes to come up to temperature. For a STEM type thermometer that is not digital, you can calibrate it, and you want to take a glass and fill it full of the shaved ice. And then you put the thermometer in there and let it sit for a moment, and then you adjust it to 32 after a couple of minutes. You can do the same thing with boiling water and set it to 212. I find that the ice method is a little bit easier to follow. So you have the stemmed thermometers there. You have a thermocouple, and that is also to check the temperature of thick or thin foods. It's instant read. It's a little probe thermometer. Both of these do have to be put into the food item, so it's important to make sure that you have sanitized them first. And then there are also instant read thermometers that utilize infrared technology now, and you can utilize them on food, and you don't have to actually pierce the food item, and then you can avoid cross contamination.